All right, welcome to LCB. Today we're going to be doing a quicker episode. No like full-on review, but we're going to be doing basically a full-on debate. You're going to be seeing Jeff D and Stephen Che joining us as they do our continuation of their beef about Unfrosted, the Jerry Seinfeld Netflix movie. So if you've seen that, you're going to love this. There's a Che line that you're going to hear. We've already recorded it. It's unbelievable. It's
a literal spit take. I have not done that. I don't think ever.
It was...
I actually spit water out of my mouth.
There's this Che line that only Che could ever... I don't think those movies will ever be compared again.
Ever.
We just witnessed a once-in-a-lifetime
That's why he's the GOAT.
sentence. Like, that will never happen again.
Ever.
But before we get to that, we do have a quick 3 news items. The first being Ralph Ineson casted as Galactus in Fantastic Four. John Malkovich also casted in an unknown role. Ralph Ineson has one of the coolest voices, I think, in Hollywood right now.
Dude.
Deep-ass voice.
Amazing. You know the weird part was? I just got into this bar, and they had the fucking Witch playing.
The what?
The Witch.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was like on screen when I got the like notification.
As you got it, yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
He's one of those guys, too. Like, for a while, he was a person where if I saw him, he was like that guy actor. You know what I mean? Like, he'd be in Game of Thrones, that guy. The Witch, that guy. Like, he'd be in, like, he was in the new Star Wars, right? Like that guy.
Yeah.
Like, he would just show up, and he has that cool-ass voice, and since Galactus is more of, like, a voice thing than a physical appearance thing, that's perfect. Great casting.
Yeah, no, that was like, I saw that, and I was like, oh, that's actually very good. Like,
yeah.
Very, very good pick. And I don't know much about Galactus. Granted, I know there's like he's represented like in like 10 different ways in the comics, like as like a human-sized person, the size of like planets. Yeah, like I've seen it in a million different ways. I feel like I don't really know how they do the version of him like where he's like the size of planets. He's like one of those celestials, isn't he?
Yeah,
tied into that.
I believe so.
They have to address that in this movie, by the way, right? I completely forget about that every time until someone posts a screenshot of it.
I'm looking up Galactus Rule 34. It's pretty good stuff.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, that's the good stuff right there. I didn't know Galactus could be a woman. I just said that as a passing joke. Apparently, he's uncircumcised.
Oh, of course he is. Look at that meaty cock.
Just one little quick look at Rule 34. He's coming on the entire planet now. Oh boy, I fucking love this. I love the internet.
He's fucking he's headed to Vegas.
He's jizzing on the whole planet. But Galactus, I think again, great pick. Malkovich being in any role is fucking cool.
Malkovich pick also not as great, I don't think, as the Innocent. Like obviously Malkovich, definitely better actor, but fit wise, I love that Innocent pick. Malkovich is also just a great pickup.
Yeah,
Marvel, like there was a little concern. I have not concerned, but because I don't really care either way at this point. But is Marvel able to get the same caliber of actors as they were 5-6 years ago when it was just their pick of the litter?
Money, man.
And it seems like, well, yeah, if they can get John Malkovich, and they can get Ralph Ineson, yeah. Ralph Ineson, probably they can get whatever, but John Malkovich, being able to swing that, hell yeah.
He's, I feel like, been in a lot of shitty movies, though, recently. He's probably easier to get than you might imagine. Like, I think the last movie I saw him in is, like, Mile 22.
Has he had a divorce recently?
That's very possible. But in Mile 22, do you remember he had hair?
That's the one with John
Wahlberg.
Oh. And Ronda Rousey.
Yes. And, like, equal waist.
Yeah.
And he just had, like, Malkovich has a full head of hair, and it's bizarre to look at. Oh, I forgot. Malkovich did that movie 100 Years where it's going to come out in like 21 something. He made a movie that's going to come out 100 years from now. He did that a while ago. A bizarre move, but whatever. His last few movies, he did Ripley, which I haven't watched yet, but I do want to watch the
Andrew Scott series.
Andrew Scott series based on Tales of Mr. Ripley. Billions. He was in 7 episodes. Fool's Paradise. Forgot about that. I really wanted to get that out of my brain. And then really just a bunch of crap. Whole bunch of crap. Space Force.
Never mind.
Yeah. No, he's significantly easier to get than you might think.
Force.
Yeah. Not a lot of good stuff happening there. But he's a good get, I think, for this.
Yeah. Thing. I don't know.
Why not?
Fantastic Four. We're excited for it, I think. Right?
Should be.
Yeah.
We'll see after Deadpool Wolverine. And again, it's not like a savior movie, but I think that's something that's a tone setter for the future of, as far as like what the world looks like post that. Peter Jackson and Andy Serkis are reuniting for a new Lord of the Rings movie, Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum. When you hear that headline, which is the headline I wrote and put on the blog because I knew it was misleading.
Yes.
It was that's one where it's like, oh, that's cool, but the reality is that the dynamic is going to be Peter Jackson's going to produce the movie, Andy Serkis is going to direct it. Bad news.
Just what are we fucking doing, David Zaslav? This is the most clear. We have an earnings call. We need to tell the investors something they can get excited for.
Yeah.
Can we get Peter Jackson to direct? No, fuck, he doesn't want to direct. Fine. Can we get him as a producing credit? Sure. Call up Andrew, see what he's doing. He'll do Lord of the Rings whenever. I mean,
Yeah.
what is this story? I mean, the story, from what I understand, doesn't work canonically within the Jackson trilogy because of how they set things up.
Yeah, the changes that they made.
Yes. So what are we? I just don't understand, why are we going to this spot? There's
Money.
From what I understand, so many, but if we're going to do a money grab, we're seeing it with X-Men 97, just because something's a money grab, a nostalgia grab, doesn't mean it has to be inherently bad or that it has to be low effort. But you can try these things.
Well, this would be like a theater thing versus...
And maybe it ends up being great, and I'm just writing it off too early, but fucking Andrew Serkis.
So,
Andy Serkis is no director as he.
Directing, as a director, he's made 2, what I would say, mediocre to bad movies, and Breathe and Mowgli: Legend of the Jungle, especially the latter. I was really excited for that, because remember they had like Benedict Cumberbatch playing
Dude, Mowgli was terrible. They had Christian Bale in that too, right?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, cool cast members, and then like the king of motion capture, Andy Serkis, like directing it, should be great, pretty dumpy. And then obviously he made Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, one of the worst movies that I think we've seen in a long
And he's
time.
making Venom 3, don't forget.
Venom 3. But Venom Let There Be Carnage was just a fucking disaster. But he's, and again, just to reiterate, he is, I think, one of my favorite working actors.
With the last episode.
Incredible. Dude.
I took him first overall in the underrated actor draft.
He's so good. Not only is he like, just as a regular, like just standard actor, both in like live action roles, theater, whatever, but like he's the pioneer of motion capture. Like he is a legend in this world, just maybe directing, not totally his bag. And Peter Jackson's post Lord of the Rings work is
also bad.
tough. He directed 5 feature films since, not directing here. He directed 5 feature films since Lord of the Rings. King Kong, which
that one's good. It's overly long, but I do like it.
The Lovely Bones was bad.
Hobbit trilogy, I defend it, but they're in reality bad movies.
It's a mess.
Bad movies.
And that movie fell into the same trap where I think him and
he came on late.
That's like to totally blame it.
Yes, but still, he signed up for it.
He also, I think he ran into the same issue that George Lucas ran into, where it's just like, let's replace all the character development and cool big production sets with
cool toys.
CGI.
Yeah, like, I got a new toy to play with, so I'm going to overly use the CGI.
Yeah. As a producer, he does have one massive hit. Massive hit as a producer. I wonder if you can guess what it is.
Oh, it's District 9.
It is District 9. District 9 is amazing. One of my favorite sci-fi movies I've ever. Then after that, it's Adventures of Tintin, and then Mortal Engines, which was brutal. Not as brutal as not brutal is the wrong term. It was bad, not a good movie. But I think that this also detracts away from what Peter Jackson is legitimately might be like turning into the best in the world at, which is making documentaries.
I was gonna say he's a good documentary,
dude. They Shall Not Be Old Girl is one of the best war documentaries I've ever seen. Then The Beatles Get Back was incredible, both amazing. So that I think is maybe the world I'd love to see him do more of. So when you see this,
a Tolkien documentary would be great.
Be awesome. I'd love, but also they probably hate. I think they hate his guts.
Yeah, they do. But
even though they've made him untold billions of dollars, probably.
Oh well.
The Tolkien estate is the fucking worst.
The worst.
Unbelievably just the worst. And like I get wanting to be like a gatekeeper, making sure you don't get a bunch of shitty product out there. But like, man, they suck. So this movie's title, The Hunt for Gollum. When I was originally just blogging it, there's a fan-made short about it.
Oh, did you see what happened to it?
Yeah, I saw what happened to it. It had 13 million views. It came out in like 2009, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It got 13 million views. Well, like people seem to like it.
That's a lot for old YouTube.
For old YouTube and being like just like a random short based off of like a fan-made. Again, that's pretty great. And after the news dropped, within 24 hours, that video, that YouTube short or short movie got taken off. It got DMCA'd. Warner Bros. Got stricken from the entire internet, which is such a fucking Zaslav move. They steal their title and then run them out of town.
And like, they clearly didn't do the research.
No,
to even check if this had been out there, or just like Google that title, see if you can even get it.
Dude, it's such a Zaslav. It's like he's literally like the bad guy in like a Western movie or something like that. or he's like running like the Native Americans off their land to steal the oil or some shit. Like that's literally just him, like to a T. It's a fucking like oil baron. So that's what Zaslav should have been. Like in another life, he was an oil baron for sure.
When I tell you an oil man, I tell you the truth.
If he wasn't him, he was like the competitors against against Plainfield. He was more. He's closer to.
Oh yeah, he's the rich guys.
He's like De Niro in Flower Moon.
Yeah.
He's basically him. But until this gets made, we still do have Rings of Power season 2,
and I'm excited for the animated movie. I think the animated movie's going to be good.
Both of them are coming out later this year. They don't have definitive dates yet, but the anime War for the Rohirrim, that should be later this year, and Rings of Power season 2 should be coming out later this year. There is ups and downs with Rings of Power. Again, Rings of Power, I think, if nothing else you'd want to say about it, the production value on that is obscene. It is so good, and like some of those visual shots they have in that are still unbelievable.
When I watched it, it's a good show because when I watched it, I enjoyed it, and I look forward to the new episode weekly. With that being said, I have not had any urge to go back and rewatch it. Yeah. But that's the same for House of the Dragon. I have had zero urge to rewatch that. It might just be I don't really want to sit down and watch hour-long episodes for
fantasy.
Yeah.
Same. But yeah, that's the Hunt for Gollum, and then lastly we had a trailer for the Acolyte. Looks fucking cool.
Yeah, it does look
really cool. I think that these like sort of other dives into the Star Wars world, which we've talked about like forever with Star Wars, like just get us away from the main storylines and trilogy and timelines, and like this is that.
Yeah.
So I think that this trailer was sick.
Yeah. No. My brain is just still stuck on Andor. I just need it. I need Andor season 2. And it's tough now. It's kind of tough now that Andor came out. Now that it's hard not to compare everything else they put out onto Disney Plus to Andor. It's like I've seen what I know you can do this, so just keep doing that.
Yep. The cast of this to me is pretty cool.
Manla Stenberg looks cool as fuck.
Very
her
cool.
Her costume design and like her just character design is awesome.
Daphne Keane in it, who was obviously in Logan. Jodie Turner-Smith, amazing. Carrie-Anne Moss. Dean Charles Chapman, who we interviewed for 1917 a long time ago, in office, right in this room. Long time ago. And he's in a couple of things too. And then what's his name from Squid Games? Lee Jung Jae. That's very cool as well. Just get it. Oh, and I guess Joonas Suotamo, the guy who plays Chewbacca in the newer trilogies. After what's his name passed away, like he's in this as well. I guess I'm assuming as a Wookiee.
Could he be? No, there's no shot he could beat Chewbacca, right?
Manny Jacinto's in this. That's a great ad. You ever watch The Good Place?
Yeah.
He's like the Filipino guy in
the idiot.
Yeah,
very Jaguars fan.
Yeah, the Jaguars fan.
That's such a great bit.
The other guy from that he's been in like Loki and stuff now. I forget his name. He's really
he's great.
God damn it.
He plays Chidi. I can't remember his name now.
I just saw he was doing like improv with like
he was a very hot fan cast for Fantastic Four. A lot of people wanted him as Reed Richards.
Wait, did you were talking about the same guy, right?
Yeah, the black guy. Black nerdy guy.
I don't think we're talking about the same guy.
He plays Chidi in the Good
No,
Place?
no, okay. No. I wasn't talking about Chidi. I wasn't talking about Chidi. I was talking about there's a guy in The Good Place. He's Manny Jacinto's friend in Duval. Is this ring a bell?
No.
He's in Loki. He's the guy like the.
Oh wait, and that guy Chidi was in not Loki. He was in the. What was it called? He was Quantumania. Wasn't he in that for like a minute?
He was in Quantumania for a minute, and he did that show, the
Last Resort.
Last Resort, yeah. Everyone was saying that was really good. What the fuck is this guy's name? Here he is, Eugene Cordero. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, not the
he's yeah. I was like, I don't think he's but he's very super funny. But yeah, great cast on the Acolyte. Again, these sort of dives into other shit in Star Wars is super fucking cool. And the production value looks sick too. It looks like on the level of like an Andor and all that. I've been rewatching Andor. It's
just so good.
It's unbelievable.
That's one show where I have gone back and rewatched it a couple times.
If you like just reskinned that with like whatever more modern day espionage setting, like people would be like, "This is the greatest show ever! Oh my god, it's incredible!" But like because in Star Wars, people just like don't give it this time of day. But yeah, that's big three news items. Anything you've been watching? I did the last episode of X-Men '97 was sick. It's so good. It's so goddamn good.
Like I said, we're gonna keep doing this nostalgia shit. We're gonna keep doing these reboots. They can be done right. We know they can be done right. Just put some effort.
Sympathizer was really good.
Sympathizer is great. I'm caught up on that. Shout out Chris Klemmer his first pick overall in the last week's draft, which if you haven't watched, underrated actors draft, he went Roy Scheider, a dead man, which we were supposed to be doing working actors, but a dead man nonetheless. Got me to watch All That Jazz in theaters this week. And boy, oh boy, what a fucking
good ass movie. How great is that ending?
So good. The final 30 minutes is incredible. I love the whole thing. I mean, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Musical theater might be a turnoff to you, but it's way more about just like an egocentric, narcissistic man. It's awesome.
Yeah, he put me onto that, and he gave me the criterion of All That Jazz, I think, for like, my birthday, and it was awesome.
I literally bought it leaving the theater.
Behind all the BTS stuff on it too is really cool. Hacks still been.
Yeah, I watched Hacks. So good. The Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise take. Oh my god.
That was my jaw was on the floor when that moment happened.
Yeah, dude, and it being like amazing, of course. Like
yes, of course it is.
And that whole, I think like who was it that was really funny? The guy who plays like her agent. I don't know the actor's name.
Oh yeah,
I really
he's like the co-creator of the show.
Yeah.
His assistant's very funny too. The girl from, I think she's like a TikToker.
She's so fucking
Megan Stalter, I think is her name.
She's really good. Baby Reindeer, I finished up. I think I mentioned this last one. Baby Reindeer was good. I wouldn't say great, but all the stuff happening with it.
Yeah, what is going on there? I saw Pierce Morgan interviewing the person that the show kind of accuses.
Yeah, so like they made a point not to use her name or show it anywhere.
Yeah, but of course, ever. Like.
But no, apparently, like it was very difficult to find.
Oh, really?
But she outed herself. She was like, she wanted to get on TV, so she like outed herself and got on Piers Morgan and these other things, and like they people have been like looking at her like Facebook and shit, and like so the whole like one of the big things in the show is like she is like illiterate. She's like a lawyer, but she's like illiterate. Like,
well, there's literate and illiterate.
But she cannot write, and then her Facebook posts are all like when people thought it was her, like we're all like making fun of the show, like, oh, this guy's a fucking like, all this stuff. But yeah, that was, I think, pretty good.
Been rewatching Apes.
I rewatched Dawn. It was so
good. Yeah, the first one is like, there's been a weird discourse on Twitter about it, where someone said it sucks, and there's like a bunch of people younger that think that movie stinks.
I think they get,
which is crazy.
Better.
They get a lot better and very different. Yeah. But the first movie's like, it's kind of like when I watch it, basically a comic book movie. Like it's set up like an origin movie. But it's really well done. I have no issues with that.
I think, yeah, I agree with you that they all are
like that. The no moment is maybe the best moment in the whole trilogy. It's
very cool,
incredible. The way it's shot, the way like it's delivered, so cool.
I can't wait for you to see Kingdom,
dude. I'm so pumped. That's why I not tonight, maybe tonight. I don't know. I'm so tired.
It's good, man.
I want to finish. I got to rewatch War now. That's the only thing left. Woody Harrelson time.
I will say that the movie does a really good job. So like I went to the screening with my fiance. She'd never seen any at all.
Yeah.
And she watched the movie, loved it, did not have any reference point to the previous movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And like she had no idea, like nothing about Caesar, nothing about any of that crap. And like she
as I make my girlfriend
every single one of them.
She missed them when they came out, so I'm making her watch them.
Dude, she didn't ask me a single question, understood everything completely. But it's also more maybe a credit to the movie doing a good job of like separating the two sort of timelines. But man, it's good. I like it a lot.
I love to hear that because I was getting worried there for a while. Once you start releasing 4-minute trailers, I start to think your movie's gonna suck. I'm sorry.
And the fact that Matt Reeves isn't involved and Serkis isn't involved, it's like, how could this possibly be good? And the director only doing the Maze Runner trilogy beforehand, like, how could this work?
Looking back, the first Maze Runner was good.
This is
the second and third one are terrible.
This is way better than both of them.
Okay, that's awesome. I've been wanting to hear it too. And also, that gets me a little bit more excited for, which I still don't think it should be live action, but the Zelda movie.
Yeah,
he's doing.
Same. I've been watching like interviews with Kevin Durant and the guy who plays the main ape in Noah in Kingdom. But their interviews are so funny because they go through all the ape mannerisms.
Yeah,
and they're super animated about it. Like they love it.
Yeah, someone also brought up on Twitter, and I think they do deserve credit to people behind the scenes on these movies on casting. Not like just big name actors, but getting people who can fucking mocap. Like, great mocap actors.
And like it was just funny watching Kevin Durant be like, "Yeah, I did 5 months of ape school." Like it's just like it's incredible. It's like I did 5 months of ape school, and then I met like I forget the actor's name who plays Noah, but like I met him, and he comes up to me and he did the whole like
thing. That's hilarious.
It's very funny. But that's good. You should definitely go watch that. Nothing else crazy.
I saw the TV Glow. I saw that also, which has been a hot letterbox TikTok movie, directed by a very popular Twitter user, early film Twitter, Gene Schoenberg. See it at your own risk. Good soundtrack, cool visuals, but it's very mopey, extremely mopey. And Justice Smith, I do not think he's a good actor, or I do not understand how this man keeps ending up in massive roles. To be honest, like just an absolute black hole every time he's on the screen.
I think he's just like a very inoffensive actor. Like he's a good I don't know, like the driver.
He mumbles through this whole movie.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
I could see it on what do you call it? The trailer. Like the trailer was so mopey, so mopey. Just like that movie where I look at
sick soundtrack. I will give it to a very, very good soundtrack.
The Roast of Tom Brady I watched. Did you see that?
No, I didn't watch that.
It's really good.
Yeah, everyone said it was funny.
Super funny, especially I think the big winners were Glazer, Schultz, and dude, Tony Hitchcock was so fucking funny.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with him.
You ever watch like Kill Tony or any of those like clips?
Oh, Kill Tony? He's him?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I always watch Cam Patterson clips.
Cam Patterson's so funny.
Patterson's so funny. He's Black Mitch Hedberg.
Dude, he's so fucking
so
funny.
Good.
Every line he says makes you laugh. I forget what he says. He's like, yeah, like I can't read that one. Someone laughed and he's like, shut up, bitch. Like
he's like, I don't read that.
He's so the way he like stands too. Even like it's just
like I like rocks.
Yeah. Like, I swear, if somebody laughs before my rock bit, I'm gonna fucking hit you with it.
Oh my God.
He's the kill. Yeah, he was really
Kill Tony's great.
He crushed it. And nothing else crazy. I just was looking at Netflix to see my recently watched and saw Reba's in the top 10 today. That's great. Loved Reba.
Show.
I used to watch it all the time growing up.
Good watch. My mom loved Reba.
And Iron Claw's on Max today too. Forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
who's rewatching that? If you're rewatching that this week in the second Max, like
you got to
call someone.
Yeah. You know what? My fiance rewatched watched for the first time Don John while I was working. Yes, on Thursday or something.
I'm sure you can get a lot of work done while that movie's going on in the background.
With ScarJo milking cum out of fucking JGL. But I forgot how many people were in that cast. Like beyond the obvious, like big, like 3-ish people, like Antonia, but Brie Larson's in that movie.
Like, there's got to be a term for when Brie Larson just appears in something from the like late aughts.
She's her sister. Like she's like a decent chunk of the movie, and like Anne Hathaway's in it, Channing Tatum's in it, like Megan Good, Cuba Gooding Jr. Like there's like, damn, it's great. I just didn't remember it at all. But yes. Christopher Nolan cautioned against both directing and starring in the film due to the extra challenges. Yeah, I mean, it's not a very good movie to be frank. I don't really like much.
Chris was like, he saw the script and he was like, this is going to be tough to make, Joseph. Maybe stay away from this one.
Maybe do Looper 2. Maybe good money, though. But yeah, that's so now we're going to go into our little debate between Stephen Shea and JDL about good old Unfrosted with Seinfeld. Okay, welcome to the long-awaited big debate. Finally, face-to-face, Jeff D. Lowe and Stephen Shea finally getting to air out their grievances over the movie that's, I think, the most divisive movie that this company has ever seen for some reason, Unfrosted,
since
from
Barbie.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Fucking Unfrosted and Barbie are tearing this company apart these past 2 years.
This is somehow more divisive than Barbie was. This is crazy.
It maybe. Only one person's still giving this movie like a decent score, like,
and
Me?
that's Che.
It's in the,
a lot of people are saying we're both very wrong, and it's like mid.
I think actually I'm gonna hot take. I got a hot take. If it's not a 0, it's a 9.
Why a 9?
Because if it's truly
Oh,
like this
'cause you either
perfectly
love it or
smart
you
comedy
hate it.
that Jerry Seinfeld has pulled one over our eyes and he meant to do this, then it's a 9 or a 10. It's art.
Yeah. Just to give on for anyone who hasn't seen Unfrosted yet, it's on Netflix. But in 1963 Michigan, business rivals Kellogg's and Post compete to create a cake that could change breakfast forever. It's Seinfeld directing first live action movie. It's like his first live action role too, which is insane just when you consider how the name notoriety Seinfeld has. The main players are Seinfeld, Melissa McCarthy, Jim Gaffigan, Max Greenfield, Hugh Grant, Amy Schumer. A ton of cameos though. The whole movie's built on cameos. Like if you name a comedian that's worked with Netflix, they're in this movie.
Mikey Day was in this movie at one point.
Yeah, Mikey Day was in it for too long. for probably too long. Like everybody, like half SNL was on it. Like everybody's in this. But we'll start out with just beginning thoughts. Just give it a little background. Jeff, we know you hated it. Just give your beginning thoughts on Unfrosted.
Truly one of the worst things I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, so low effort, the most obnoxious and lacking of nuance comedy I've ever seen. Jerry Seinfeld comes out of the screen, punches you in the face with every joke, just like, hey, look at this fucking moon rover. You like this? Look at this fucking thing. Remember the moon land? Just it reminds me of the horrible episode of this podcast we did, the 90s episode.
It was good.
We did a joke episode. We were in a ref and pretend we recorded in the 90s. It's exactly like that. I don't know who it's for. It's humor for people born in the 60s and 70s, but like sometimes at the level of kids. It's just such a mess. It's so cringy, and and for me, it's not in a funny way. Like, it's not in a way that, like, this wants to be more like people comparing to like Adam Sandler movies. I don't think so. This wants to be more like a pop star or a hot rod, and it just isn't. It's in that lane, but just because you're in that lane doesn't mean you're that good. I hated it. It's like offensive to me that it's this bad. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe what I was watching. That funeral scene is the worst scene I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my gosh, that funeral scene was legitimately good.
I haven't gotten to the funeral scene, and now I want to go back for it.
The snap crack
You mean you
pop
haven't
as they're folding up the prize is
Fold.
I don't DNF movies. I don't turn movies off. That was as close as I've come turning a movie in a very long time.
Gooch, did you not finish this movie?
I did not. No.
Your score is erroneous.
I haven't given a score
He should
yet.
finish the movie. That's a whole other discussion. He should, like, Gooch is a medium time movie boy. He doesn't watch you got to watch all the bad movies. You got to watch the bad ones.
I refuse to watch the bad ones.
I will note I DNF'd it when I first watched the movie, and then I finished it before doing this. Like I probably like 2-3 days.
So you were giving scores with.
I've given no.
I didn't give a score either.
Shay.
I
I've
didn't give
given no score.
Only Jeff gave it a score. I just said that
A
it's
DNF
bad.
is pretty bad. A DNF is almost worse. A DNF is almost worse than a 0. I will say. Actually, it probably is.
It will get a score one day.
Yeah, Che, what were your thoughts?
As a regular guy, I understand DNFs. If you're reviewing a movie for real, you can't DNF the movie.
The only person that gave a real review here is Jeff. To be clear, I just gave like a reaction. Fair, yeah, you too. But I mean, among the three of us, I only gave a reaction more than anything, no full review. So if you want to use that sort of technical argument, that's mostly towards Jeff.
Ken Jack will do like 1 or 2 DNFs a year. Gooch escapes. Gooch avoids the bad.
You watch mostly good movies. You do.
All right,
We're
so
like assuming not that I've been watching the good ones.
Medium time
movie's good. I watch it.
Medium time movie boy. That's fine.
He's got to watch the Bye Bye Man. That's the trenches we fought in.
Yeah,
early
you
LCD
got
days.
it makes the good movies better too.
I hit Argyle and Madam Web back-to-back weeks opening night in IMAX.
But Shay, what were your thoughts on it?
So I'll start with saying I respect what you guys do. You guys watch way more movies than me. When I have 2 kids, I'm married, I live in the suburbs. I see maybe 8 to 12 movies a year. Now, when I lived in New York City, I would see 3 to 5 a month. So I would go to the movies very, very frequently. Most notably, or always to the 68th and Broadway, best theater in the city. Loved it there. Mm-hmm. But I haven't done that in a long time. But I've seen a lot of movies. And Unfrosted, admittedly, it is a very silly movie. You kind of have to be in the mood for it. Like if you're looking for a, Argo or Mystic River or some type of serious drama like that that's going to be an Oscar contender, this ain't it. And you're going to hate it. And maybe Jeff was looking for that. I don't know. When you guys posted...
Okay, I'll let you finish.
When you guys posted the preview of this on the Lights Camera Barstool Twitter account, I saw it. I was like, holy shit, this looks awesome. Stopped what I was doing, showed my wife, was like, we got to watch this when this comes out. This looks awesome. I love Seinfeld, the TV show. I like Jerry Seinfeld, the comedian. I like his whole premise and everything. Now... nostalgia for sure. And I'm 38, and this was even, some parts were even a little bit too old for me as far as like making joke, but like I can understand it, like being on the when he's in that scene with Melissa McCarthy when she's like at NASA and she's coming up with Tang, and I understand references like that, but there are a lot of references that the movie's filled with references, not all of them hit, and I admit that. That being said, I did think this movie overall was very funny, and I laughed a lot during the movie. Obviously,
I have a question. Do you like Seinfeld's stand-up? Do you like his stand-up quite a bit? Okay,
I do.
So that was my first reaction. Like within 10 minutes, I was like, this is a set that Jerry Seinfeld wrote in 1985 and
one of the greatest
transferred it to a movie script.
Yeah, it is like an extended bit.
Seinfeld to me, you don't think this is on par with Seinfeld?
The TV show?
Yeah.
Seinfeld, the TV show, is the greatest TV show ever. I don't think this was that. I do think that this is a very, very good movie.
Let's
9.2, even like by my, that's a great comedy.
It's the high, and that's where, whatever. If this is a for real movie, I think people. First of all, people think I hate you, which is very, very funny.
No, you and I are friends.
People are either celebrating that or they're mad at me about it. They're either like, "Yes, dude, you fucking hate Che," or they're, for the most part, they're like, "You piece of fucking shit." I mean, Yak fans don't like me to begin with, but they're like, how dare you? I don't hate Che. I'm like, also like let's remember where we work here. Let's remember like what we're doing here. Like if we were just two guys in an office, we probably would have talked about this on Monday. Then we're talking about something completely different. But
yeah,
my thing is, I think you're smarter than a lot. You have your dumb moments, but what does Dan say? Dan Bickett says you're smart presenting, but I think you have. I think they give you far less credit than you probably deserve. I think you know that you get reactions when you post these reviews. So when I first saw that review and you were like, "This basically transcends like comedy this decade." Like I was like,
Steven, you were having it up.
My initial reaction, I swear to you, I was waiting for you at the end of the video to be like, "I'm just fucking, this movie's fucking stinks."
Me too.
You were playing it up so much. I'm like, he's gonna pull the rug. The funny thing is, when you tweeted at me, when somebody tweeted the score of the movie, you said, "Oh no, I thought the trailer was so good." I actually almost
tweeted that.
I almost
tweeted that it sucked.
No, you tweeted. You said like, "Oh my god, I love the trailer."
You tweeted this movie like was awful, one of the worst things ever, and that was the only thing I'd seen prior to seeing it. I saw it on Saturday, and I think you tweeted that out on Friday, and I said, "Oh no, the trailer looked awesome." That was it. And as I said, the trailer did excite me, but I respect your movie scores, and if you're saying it sucked,
I
then
almost
maybe
put out a tweet, and I didn't put it out because we actually had somebody at Barstool banned from Twitter for this. I almost put out a tweet that said, "If Stephen Che likes his movie, I'm going to kill myself." I almost said that. I was like, I don't get kicked off Twitter. But I legitimately I was like, he has to be, because this is the highest. And you also, that's the other thing too. Movies, like you used to watch a lot of Oscar movies.
Yep.
People think you and I don't agree on every movie. That's not true at all. Like we didn't see eye on Oppenheimer and Flower Moon, but for the most part, you and I have liked a lot of the same movies. You like Dune, you like Talk to Me, all that. So when you were like 9.2, I was like, there is no shot this man is giving. This is like the highest mark. So yeah, I refuse to believe that.
Jeff, I will say you got to
be a long bit.
Jeff, I will say you got to flip it back to your side. 0. You think this is 0?
I tweeted this yesterday at him. If you look at, so Che has a history of doing what, it's like 12 movies. So there's not much to go off of. Like the best movies you've given, like this is your best movie. That's like, whoa,
Tops Migration.
That's revolting. If you look at all my zeros and all the movies that I've rated below 5, it's all in the same space. It's all the Adam Sandler movies. It's The Wrong Missy. It's the parody movies.
Bye Man,
the Spartans, the epic movies, like the disaster. Like this is just that. It's just Jerry Seinfeld did this movie.
So to me, this movie, and you guys are probably going to disagree with this, this felt to me like a Wes Anderson movie. This felt like...
Oh, yes. No, that's the take we were waiting. Your Wes Anderson movie? Do you just mean because it's like a night? I go, oh.
It's just like, it's over
Number one.
Really, like the... what was the movie he did with the
Asteroid City?
No, the Girl Scouts.
Oh, Moon. Yeah,
Moonrise Kingdom.
Yeah, Moonrise Kingdom.
It felt a lot to me like that, where it's like, this is obviously like not a serious thing, but there's a lot of like funny things. You get invested in the characters. Obviously you guys feel very different. You're laughing at me for even that comparison, but that's kind of the vein it felt.
I think Wes Anderson just killed himself.
It's not an exact replica. I would say it's somewhere of a mix between that and like The Boss with like Melissa McCarthy, which I know you guys.
That's a way more apt comparison.
Yes, significantly more apt.
I think it's a cross between the two, because I don't think it's directly like The Boss, but I also don't think it's 100% carbon copy of Moonrise Kingdom.
I think you're saying it's like the quality and like plot level.
Hold on. Those movies
What's the actual rate? What's like the rating though? I actually am curious. That's less for the argument's sake and more I'm just what's like the rating?
The critic score is 39 and the audience score is 57 as of yesterday.
This is gonna be. I gotta see the letterbox. The letterbox score is gonna be.
Audience gave it a 3.2. Critics gave it a 4.5.
To your point, Toche, I think what you're saying is like if you're saying like visually, it kind of looks like a Asteroid City or a Moonrise Kingdom. Like yeah, sure, like he's going for that same sort of like old timey aesthetic with like the 60s.
Old timey kitschy, like not shit. Serious, like yes, that type of thing.
I think more like irreverent production. It may be irreverent, yeah, but like it's more like lipstick on a pig, right? Where like
I was gonna say
the bones of it are still like I think it looked fine. Like all the visuals in the movie are
what did you guys think when the trailer came out?
I was like, I don't know what this movie is. It's very difficult to totally understand what it is.
Yeah, I didn't know. Remember, he's never done a movie before. That's the other thing. He did the B movie, which is very different than this. And the B movie was almost more like fourth wall breaky and like talk to the the B movie to me the B movie was more self-aware than this. That's a whole different discussion. But so I didn't know what to expect with this. I mean, I love Seinfeld too.
What are we talking about? Self-aware? This movie is just all lighthearted jokes. What is being not self-aware about this?
I think this movie, like, I think it thinks it's making like legitimately hilarious, like holy shit. Like I don't think it's intentionally cringe. I really don't. I don't think so. But that should be me. Again, if Jerry Seinfeld is doing some sort of cringe humor.
Wait, what? Steven, we lost your mic, I think.
Can you hear me?
All right, there we go.
Intentionally cringe. No. It being labeled cringe is just current slang and jargon for being like, this sucks so bad, I hated it.
No, there can be funny cringe humor. There can be intentional.
I think you should leave.
Yeah, like The Office and stuff like that is like you're meant to feel awkward. And okay, that it obviously was not that. I think there are a lot of funny moments in this movie. I have a laundry list of things that I enjoyed in this movie that I'd love to go over with you guys.
Which is fair. Which to me, that's not even the argument because I said this in my blog too. Which you have to give me credit. I'm not gonna hate you for thinking it's funny. I said that if you think it's funny, that's fine. What's funny to you is different. To me, it felt like such a hyperbolic review that I was like, I think this is horse shit. Like it was so over the top compared to
my review.
The only like 8 movies I've ever heard you review.
So in fairness, I actually don't like a lot of comedies. Like I love Borat, Dumb and Dumber, the Sandler stuff. Like I don't love like the Billy Madison Happy Gilmore. I don't love those. Super Bad, Book Smart, kind of in that vein. I think all those are really, really good. I would compare this a little bit more to like it's not like a happy, but like a silly type premise or Dumb and Dumber where it's like
I didn't hate the Boss comp.
No, right. But this is different in that those movies all
I generally don't like those. I very much liked this movie, and it hit with me. And maybe it's because I like Jerry Seinfeld's comedy. And if you guys are saying this is an extension of that, okay, I think it's
very much an extension.
Those movies you're all mentioning, they go to efforts to set up jokes a lot. I think the issue, at least that I had, and I know that I think at least you two had to a bit, is that every line was a joke, and that every line didn't need to be a joke, and every line was, and the hit rate was not good. The hit rate on them was not good. Like
I think that's fair because they are, and same with like I was getting crushed on the yak for this, saying that this was very much like Seinfeld, the TV show humor, in the fact that not that like all the jokes were the same or as funny or that type of thing, but it was all just like pretty quick. Like one-liners, and of course they set up stuff like the "Do you want to be my latex salesman?" is like a 2-episode build-up, but there weren't those in this movie. They were more of the quick stuff, but I liked a lot of it,
which is fine. I mean, you had a reaction to that. That is not that's not my whole point of like. I'm not going to debate you on what's funny, what's not. You and I could disagree on what's funny, what's not. That's just forever. That's comedy. I mean, that is what it is.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
I accept. I said that in my blog. Like, if you think this is funny, like, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong.
Can I go over the things that I like in that movie? And
Absolutely,
you guys tell me
that's what
where
I
you
was going to ask
disagree.
next. Yeah.
All right. So obviously, kitschy, silly story. You kind of have to be in the mood for it. Eventually, the toaster pastry or the Pop-Tart.
Actually, before you get into it, because I'm not going to, because again, I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong for like things funny. That's not the point of that. That was not the whole point of my thing. However, if you do think, and I know you don't, so that's why I'm saying this. If you think the ravioli was funny, I don't know.
I don't. That's the only part I really didn't.
Yeah.
Like.
That's the one thing you and I talked about. If you had that was
No, I really did not like the
He's
ravioli.
like,
Because you and I texted after I
me.
put the review out, and I admit I was like, that was the only part I didn't like.
That's the only thing I'd be like, Che, we actually have to sever our ties.
That part didn't make sense to me at all. I liked that the Pleasantville town, like the 60s or whatever, like that was kind of cool. Post and Kellogg in the same town, kind of just a nice, easy setting. The kid with that fucking stick in the bindle, a very cute little joke.
Bindle, good word.
Walter Cronkite's character, hilarious.
He was the highlight, big highlight for me.
Constantly upset off camera, hating his life, and then camera turns on and he turns it on. So obviously Max Greenfield from New Girl was great. He basically played Schmidt to Amy Schumer. I thought that was very funny. What probably my favorite, I don't want to say it was definitely my favorite scene, but like when they go to get sugar and sugar is treated like it's cocaine, that entire premise is very funny to me. Kellogg's unveiling their tasting team with the guy from Germany, and then the reporters being like,
the German bit made me laugh. The German bit made me laugh.
They went a little too long.
He was like, Argentina. He's like, I gotta go. They're like, I gotta go home. He's like, I gotta go to Argentina.
Yeah.
That made me laugh.
It starts off immediately. Hugh Grant being Tony the Tiger and just having a British accent is very funny.
He didn't want to be there at all. Nobody wanted to be in that movie less than Hugh Grant. He was ready to leave.
Hugh Grant's got some.
Hugh Grant had a lot of great, like the January 6th spoof with him with the Tony the Tiger with the horns.
I didn't find that particularly funny, but I did think I did think the only person who like put any effort and care into this was Hugh Grant.
I think he wanted to. Oh, actually, so you know what was weird is
I was in King Lear.
The one thing that I came away from this movie, kind of thinking more than anything is Seinfeld is a god awful actor.
Oh, he's terrible.
He's so bad.
Yeah, he's always been a bad actor. That's always been
awful.
It works in Seinfeld.
Terrible actor.
What I want to do is I want to read you guys some reviews, and I want you to kind of counter them. So I took some reviews off Rotten, both from the good side and from the bad side.
I was only 40% of them. That's how many good parts of the movie there are.
We'll start with you, Shay. Jokes fall flat and hard, as when Kellogg reads the newspaper and says, "Ooh, Vietnam, that seems like a good idea." Late in the game, we get an extended action sequence designed to satirize January 6th. It's so bad and poorly shot as if everyone involved in the movie has given up. Still, as terrible as all that is, it can't prepare you for a subplot involving some sort of live and creepy sea monkey ravioli creature. Unfrosted is one of the worst movies of the decade so far. That's from Richard Roper, Chicago Sun-Times, friend of the pod. Counter from Stephen Shea.
The guy has a dump in his pants. He watches too many movies, and he just can't like sit back and enjoy. Like everything doesn't have to be like the Mona Lisa. This was very funny for what it was. I agree with him. The ravioli part was dumb. If you're looking for like a ton of subplots and twists in a fucking Pop-Tarts movie about kids, check yourself.
I don't see that. That's one of the ones where I don't love, and I know Gooch went back at what Big Cat said. Like, I don't love the excuse it's a Netflix movie that like they paid $500 million.
I
think dumb movies.
I do understand it's not in theaters, but at the same time, this was a big. That's how things are done nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my thing.
But I thought it was a very good movie.
I mean, again, this is where it's tough. It's like, I mean, I'm not gonna tell you what's funny and what's not. Like, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But like, for me, there are movies like that where it's like, oh, you know what? Cut a little slack, probably a little funnier than I'm maybe giving it credit because this is what it is. But for me, it does like Hubie Halloween, great example. Like, I don't really hate Hubie Halloween. I don't think it's good, but like for what it is, a couple things land. Like, I'm okay with that. I'm trying to think of some other comedies that are kind of
that should be the review for Unfrosted.
We should ban numerical scores for comedies just moving forward in pop culture.
Did it make you laugh?
Yes, it should. It really should just be thumbs up or thumbs down when it comes to comedy.
For Jeff, a positive review. Seinfeld has a genuine love for these mascots, this era, and this meal. That's the only That's the positive bump that they put on Rotten Tomatoes.
I've seen that review. That one made me laugh. I was like, okay.
You have a counter for that? Do you have a counter for that positive review?
He does love cereal. As Seinfeld fans know, the man he does love cereal. I mean, I don't think didn't that review give like a 6 out of 10?
It's positive. I don't know. It must just be over the rotten limit. Yeah.
Yeah.
For Che, Seinfeld's immense wealth so insulates him from the real world that he can afford to be the most blasé person alive, rising to passion only when griping with interviewers that comedy has become too woke. Seinfeld, the sitcom, which Larry David devoted his entire life to giving offense, co-created, often the comic art obscuring this type of guy. They spent all this time like making fun of this person. That's from Matt Seitz from Roger Ebert. So counter from Che.
Sounds like an extremely jealous dude. Like, yeah, Seinfeld has a ton of money. He can do whatever he wants. He wanted to make a movie about cereal. He did it. I don't think his wealth should really have anything to do with it. He made a movie that he was something he's passionate about, which is cereal, which has been known for decades, or breakfast foods, which has been known for decades. And I think this was totally fun.
All right, Jeff. Unfrosted is, in a way, a quintessential comedian's movie. It thumbs its nose at everything without necessarily believing in anything, yet it has an agreeable crunch from Owen Gleiberman. Variety. Counter from Jeff.
I don't even know what the fuck that means.
It's comedian's movie. We don't get it because we're not comedians, maybe.
That's a good bit. Has a crunch. I do like that. It's a good little reference.
All told, Unfrosted is a cinematic equivalent of a kid mixing every cereal from his parents' cupboard in a giant salad bowl with the hope that a splash of milk will magically blend the various flavors together into something palatable. From David Elric from IndieWire. Che.
Yeah, I mean, I think of the negative reviews, that one's maybe the most fair, where they just throw a bunch of stuff together and hope it turns out good, and that guy thinks it didn't. For me, it hit. And especially I want to talk about, if anyone watched the Mad Men series and you didn't love that scene with John Hamm.
For me to see that, for like my explanation on that, I just thought that was like it just wasn't. It was just like a cheap reference. That's not funny. I don't know.
And did you like Mad Men?
Yeah, Mad Men's amazing.
Then how did you not get excited about that scene?
Because it's all, for me, that's a great show and a horrible movie. That's almost worse.
It's like 2 minutes.
You didn't do it for me. I didn't know what they were saying.
A show you loved doing advertising in the 60s, and you didn't like it?
I mean, they may as well have been like, hey, there's these guys from a show that they're going to watch one. Like, I mean, it was so like, okay, all right, the 60s, all right. It didn't, I mean, what I mean, I don't know. But that's where this is pointless. Like, what am I supposed to say? Like you're wrong. I'm like, no, you found it funny. I didn't find it funny. It's not funny to me.
The last one.
I like dumb humor, but like this again, all this again. All this boils down to is I've heard you review. What I know from you as someone who's a movie watcher, you watched a lot of Oscar movies. You made it your niche in the dozen this past summer. You were like Oscar movies, like you watched like really good movies, and you've reviewed movies. And while we went back and forth on Oppenheimer, we had fun with like the Flower Moon thing. Like you've liked a lot of movies this year that I've liked as well. Like we've agreed on a lot of those movies.
Yeah.
And so when you came out and you dropped, but I don't have much to go off of. I have like a little thing to go off of. When you drop the 9.2, I'm like, there's just no way. Like this doesn't make sense. And again, the people said it. Titus said it yesterday. Gucci said it. This is like, if you look at all the movies that I give anywhere between a 3 and a 0, it's all the same. Ridiculous 6, Delta Farce, Scary Movie 5, Larry the Cable Guy, Health Inspector, Stan Helsing, Disaster Movie,
Stan Helsing,
Master of Disguise, Jack and Jill. Like it's all this. Bucky Larson, Born to Be Sorry. This is just,
Master of Disguise
this is just that, but unfortunately, it just has Jerry Seinfeld in it, which is weird. But maybe this movie's like inappropriate comedy. I don't really know about inappropriate comedy. That was a comedy that came out in 2013, and it had like all these like relevant people in it. I think this is is it inappropriate comedy? What's the one that came out from James Gunn?
Oh, for 43?
43.
Movie 43. Sorry, Movie 43.
Yeah.
Inappropriate Comedy is one by Vince Offer, the guy, the ShamWow guy, I think.
But everyone directed that movie.
Yeah.
Has
Movie
like
43. I hate. I hate Movie 43.
Bad movie.
Now there are people who say you're stupid. There's a nuance to that, and they're doing something intentionally there. There's a lot of people in it. Maybe that's what Jerry Seinfeld's doing here. Maybe it went over my head. That's very possible. I don't think so. I thought this was a very genuine attempt. It lines up with the type of humor that he makes. I saw someone say, like, don't you think this is a commentary on what you can't say anymore? But Jerry Seinfeld's never been an inappropriate comedian. So that's not like, again, if I miss the mark on that, then that's the one time maybe I missed the mark.
To your point, though, like, you don't make a comedian's movie, like some Kaufman thing like that, with a $500 million budget. You know what I mean? Like, that's not something that you get that sort of budget for. You get that for a crowd pleaser. Like that's obviously, I feel like, what they were going for, right? Like they wanted to get mainstream appeal through the Netflix audience, and I don't think that
cheaper movie than I thought. I looked up the budget. It's only $20 million, right underneath it.
Unfrosted?
Yeah. That's what they're reported. But I think that this was a
Netflix,
contractual obligation
Netflix
for a lot of
never
these
reveal
people.
those actual numbers, though. That's like Netflix is a black box.
I think like anyone with the Netflix comedy contract had to be in this movie.
Also, keep in mind how much they paid Jerry Seinfeld for. Jerry Seinfeld has like first look with Netflix. So
oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So there's always like tertiary costs onto it too. Okay.
Again, hey, you know what? I'll lay down the sword if this is what you really feel. I believe you then.
Jay,
but at the time, I was like, "There's no way."
I do. I was actually a little bit insulted by your paragraph where you're like, "He's just making." Let me be very clear. I don't make
genius
anything.
Move if you did that.
No, I maybe, but I don't fabricate or like. I'm going to tell you how I feel. I would have preferred to go into this like completely blind, not knowing what anyone thought. Knowing that you hate it didn't change my score or anything like that. I don't think you gave it a 0 before, or say it was the worst movie ever. You said you didn't like it, and then I was like, oh damn, like I thought this was going to be good. I'm looking forward to seeing it this weekend. But I'm not, just because you say you don't, it doesn't mean I'm going to hate it. So that was all I saw. I didn't see like a ton of critics like Richard Roper fucking ripping it to shreds.
Yeah, it just felt gross to me. The only thing I'll change my review is I don't think I'm going to put it behind. I think Jack and Jill's still going to be worse. I think Jack and Jill's a little more offensive to me because I do think that, like, I believe the theory that was a Ponzi scheme. That was a scheme to get them on vacation.
I was in the same boat as Jeff, where I initially thought you were doing a bit, but the reason was, and I'll tell you why, is because when I watched it, you described it without any description.
I don't want to give like spoilers. I've gotten
bad
feedback of people like, don't spoil the movie, it just came out. Like it'd been out for one day.
But like your description of it was so nondescript, it made me feel like if someone was like came up to me with the camera and was like, hey, we're doing a bit, like promote this movie even though you've never seen it. Like give it like a very like nondescript thing that like it could apply to literally any movie ever, like just nondescript terms. So I was like, oh, he's doing a bit. He didn't even watch it. I have no idea. And then as this has progressed, I'm like, oh, you just saw it, and now like you're just saying like you just didn't want to give spoilers or anything. So but to give to Jeff's credit, I was in the same exact boat, but mostly because of the way the adjectives you used or lack thereof.
That's honestly, you shouldn't. I get you said you were offended by it, but you should take that as a compliment. I was like this man is playing us all. Like maybe I'm giving you too much credit. I don't know. I was like I think he sees that his movie reviews get a lot of good engagement. And
I think engagement, I would never change a score to be better or worse.
Maybe I gave you too much evil genius credit.
Steven, what are you seeing next? Are you gonna see Monkey? Are you gonna see Monkey movie or Furiosa?
Maybe Furiosa. I like the original, or not the original, but the
last one.
But Fury Road, yeah. I don't know. That's the only one that's kind of caught my eye. There was a horror movie. I think it's called The Strangers that had a little bit interesting during one of the NBA games recently. So
ask Eddie about that.
Once playoffs are over, I'll probably go to the theaters a little bit more. But
Eddie, we need to see Strangers with you.
It's his number one movie.
He loves the original.
Yeah,
Eddie.
Yeah.
Wait, this is a sequel?
This is like a kind of thing's reimagining.
I guess like a reboot. It's gonna.
When was the original?
2008?
Yeah, like 08, 07.
Oh, I don't remember this movie.
It's with Liv Tyler, right?
Yeah.
I remember it scared the fuck out of me.
The trailer looked very haunting, so
you guys also do that. All right, but I think we've buried the hatchet here. I think we've gotten to the bottom of the misunderstanding.
I saw Che the other day. Like this is like.
It's not real. Again, it's not. That's the funniest thing about the Twitter world is looking at this and being like, oh, they fucking hate each other's guts. They just despise. It's never ever the case here. It's like it's truly not.
More pals. But
yeah, we've learned to agree to disagree on Unfrosted, and we'll look forward to the next. What's going to be the next Jerry Seinfeld?
Actually, he has a new one coming. It's going to be about a school in the city. Oh, boy. It's called High School 17. So just look up Seinfeld High School 17. You'll be able to find
great stuff
about that. Yeah.
Oh God. Yep.
All right, forget the movie stinks, but I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and slander. I mean, sci-fi still loves Seinfeld.
That's a fact. That's a bona fide fact.
I know. The bigger question that came out of this, though, I still think is how much does Larry David, Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah,
I like the later seasons of Seinfeld, so I'm not there. There are people who don't like the later seasons of Seinfeld without Larry David. So,
and Curb has never missed. Curb has never missed once, which does also help that argument.
I thought Seinfeld was great up until the final episode.
I agree. I don't think Seinfeld ever missed from start to finish.
Me neither.
But that's it. We'll be back next week with a new episode. Make sure to tune in then.